everyone, good morning, happy Monday, happy new week, happy May. Hope you all had a lovely weekend. So today we're going to be carrying on with health, and we are on Capitolo Quattro, chapter 4, which is looking at nutrition. Okay, so before we get crack-a-lacking, can you please get your books out? We're going to be working from page 81 onwards today, and I'm hoping that we can get through sections A and B. So we keep up to date with our schedule. So, guys, nutrition. Now, before we do get started, I want to say that we are going by American guidelines for this. We're not going by Brazilian. So, if you are learning about nutrition, maybe in science class or something like that, it will be slightly different. So, please bear that in mind. So, guys, we're going to dive straight in with different types of nutrients. Okay, so if you look at slide 1 on the presentation that I shared, I've written some information for you, and it says there are 7 classes, major classes of nutrients: carbohydrates, fats, fiber, minerals, proteins, vitamins, and the final one, which I believe is one of the most important, water. Okay, you will need to bear those in mind because that will come up later on in the chapter. Now we get our energy from 3 main sources, and I've highlighted them in yellow below. Darling, you can come past. Carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Okay, so if you click onto the next slide, or you'll see here below, I've got it broken down: carbs, protein, and fats. It says here healthy fats. It's fats. Now, guys, there's a lot more information about these where you get your source of energy from, and I am not going to go through it here. I want you guys to go away and to read it. So whether you pause the video now and you read it, or if you read it after the class, okay? So please make sure you read all that information, because that will help you for the rest of the chapter on nutrition, okay? So you need to read about carbs, protein, and the different types of fats that there are, okay? Now, we already mentioned water being one of the major types of nutrients, and I want to draw this to your attention. It is recommended that teenage girls between the age of 14 and 18 need 9 cups of fluid each day, okay? And so for boys between the same age, you need 13 apparently per day. Now, different places will have different recommendations. Also, how big is a cup? So I think it's safe to say all need to ensure we are drinking lots of water to stay hydrated. Okay, so if you're doing more activity, then obviously you will need to have a higher intake of fluids. Okay, but just bear that in mind, everyone. Everyone needs to drink a lot of water. If you're not drinking sufficient water, other than becoming dehydrated, it can affect your skin, it can affect your level of concentration, it can be detrimental to you in many other ways. Eventually, it can also have an impact on your organs, which is not good, okay? So, water, muito importante. So, guys, if you look onto my next slide, I've got a short activity for you to do. Now, this requires you to go onto Canvas. In your book, it is on page 90, but I think it's more fun to do it online. It's easier to do. So there's the link here, the Mizzou link. Just scroll down, and I put a print screen so you'll see what it looks like, okay? So you have to, this is to check your understanding. You have to drag and drop. For example, it says carbohydrate. Out of the 3 pictures, which is the carbohydrate? So please do that. It's got seven stages. It shouldn't take you too long, guys. It's just to check that you have understood what you've read, okay, about carbohydrates, fats, and protein. So please do that. Link is there. You may need to scroll down a little bit on the page, okay, on the Canvas page. So, making healthy food choices. If you look at the diagram, guys, I've pasted here, it says choose. Oh, my battery's going low. It's got a plate and a cup. Okay, this is the American standard for the food groups. Okay, so in other countries they say there's 7 food groups. The Americans say there's 5, and since this is American curriculum, we're going to go with 5. So we have grains, fruits, vegetables, proteins, and dairy. Okay, so I want just to go through the bullet points that I have here. Half your plate should be a variety of vegetables and whole fruits. Okay. Make your grains whole grains. Okay. Eat a variety of lean protein. We'll go onto that later in the chapter. And choose low-fat dairy products. Okay. Now, some of this may not be making sense to you, but that's okay, guys. Okay, because by the end of it, you will understand all of these things. So, I have an activity, another activity, Mrs. Furtado. Yes, you're going to. This activity is going to help you learn what are whole grains, what is lean protein. So, if you go on to the next slide, slide number 7, you will see this other plate again, guys. Now, there is a link to this plate on Canvas. You will see it when you scroll down past this link. You have to drop and drag each one of these items into the plate. I'm going to show you how to do it really quickly. So you open the link. Here we go. Should work. Right, so this is the page it will take you to. Now scroll down. Oops, I just had it there. So, for example, my eye has gone to broccoli. Now, what is broccoli? Is broccoli a grain? Let's try it. If we try and drop it. We know it's not a grain, okay? But I think broccoli is a vegetable. Drop it there, and it's correct, okay? Go through the whole list, all of these different items of food that are on it, and then you check it to see what is right and what is wrong, okay? So, let's go back to the slides. You can also read about that on page 93 and 94, but I would then like you to read the dietary guidelines number 2 and 3. Guys, if you click on to slide 8 now, pause the video and go back and do that activity. Okay, calories and serving sizes. Teenage boys, roughly, will need about 2,500 calories a day. Females have a little less. It's only 2,000 calories a day. Now, this is a general amount. This is not very specific. Maybe if you are someone that does a huge amount of exercise a day, it will maybe need to be a little bit higher. If you have a more sedentary lifestyle, then it would be less, okay? But this is just a typical generic amount, okay? Now, usually teenagers will need to have more calories than adults due to puberty and then again activity level. So active people who exercise regularly need more calories than those who lead a more sedentary lifestyle. Guys, I want you to review the serving sizes that I've put here on this slide. This is from the book as well. This is an American way of measuring serving sizes, but it's very important to see, for example, 1 cup is roughly a baseball. What can you have that amount of? So that's probably going to be more healthy things, such as salads, fruit, vegetables, or it even says rice and pasta as well, so some carbs in there as well. So please make sure you go through that and review it. Finally, I want this to be a short video today because there's a lot of reading for you to do. Helpful hints for why is that not bigger? For making food, making healthy food choices are extremely important. Okay, so I've got some tips here to guide you. So go easy on toppings such as condiments, dressings, etc. So that's like tomato ketchup, mustard, maybe Tabasco. Pay attention to how food is prepared. Is it fried? If it's fried, guys, it's not going to be very good. Is there a lot of added sugar? Added sugar is the devil, but it tastes so good. Eat more fresh fruit and vegetables. Guys, here, when I first came to Brazil and I went to the feira, I was overwhelmed. There are so many fruits that I had not even seen in my life before. For example, a pitaya. I didn't try pitaya until I was 28 years old, and that was here in Campo Belo at the feira. I think it's a beautiful fruit, lovely colour, but I don't like the flavour. Be conscious of portion size and the number of portions eating. I think this is a very important point, guys. You could be eating, I think there's nothing wrong with having something a little bit unhealthy, like maybe some chocolate, but in moderation. Everything in moderation, guys. And don't drink your calories. Coca-Cola, guarana, um, all these types of drinks, oh, they're delicious, but they are not very good for you. They are stuffed full of calories, so don't drink your calories. Guys, next week, we're just going to leave it there for now. Please make sure you do those activities I have on the earlier slides. Okay, so that's this one here, which is the My Plate, which can be found on Canvas, and then the other one, which is checking your understanding of nutrients and what are carbs, fats, and proteins. Okay, so we're going to stop there. If you have any questions, you know what to do. Send me a message on Classroom. In our live session later, I'll be going through last week's work. So that was the last lesson on healthy relationships. I'll also be naming and shaming those who have work outstanding. Okay.